Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're looking at Bitcoin. Before we jump to that, just want to say thanks for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Okay, so let's get into this. We're talking about this potential of looking for, bigger breakouts to the upside here. We have also talked about in the previous videos the idea of a bigger flat correction towards this 29,946 range. So we need to be aware of that. There is also the potential that this is just a bigger corrective move. So we're going to go over these in a second. What we were talking about previously in the video was looking for this as a potential another 1 and 2. So this is still possible. Basically, within the structure, we could still see this move play out in this manner. But basically, what we need to see happen here is we need to see the support hold. So the internal count of this, I'm going to just turn this on, turn this off. We're looking at the potential that basically we looked at this as a potential wave 1 and then looking for a wave 2 to come down into the zone and look to actually complete and then move away. The problem is the way that we have moved away here just looks corrective. So it is leading me to believe that potentially we could see another drop coming here, where this becomes A, B, and then basically looking for a C wave. It is possible this B wave could still move up higher here. And what I'm looking for is that potential to move up a little bit more towards the zone of this 1-to-1, which is up here at this 28,237. So I'm still keeping an eye on this, still looking for that potential to actually get another move to the upside here towards the zone, but it has actually come up past this 0.618. So it could actually just be a WX and a Y completed, and then we could look to break down directly from this point. So if we fail to actually push up towards this 1-to-1 or actually progress into a bigger move here, the problem is, like I said, the moves up are very corrective at the moment. There is a potential that they're building into something impulsive, but really, once we start to lose this zone of this 2770, basically I'd be looking towards this lower range of the support box again to see if we find support on this 2752. If we start to fail to find this support within this range and we start to break down here, we need to be careful of a move further down towards this 138 area. So if we did get a move down like this as a bigger ABC pattern down into this lower 1-to-1 zone, this would invalidate that idea of having another 1-2 here, and rather we'd have to look at this move as just as a corrective connector wave here, potentially something like a flat in here, where this is W, this is X, and then we're forming that Y wave to the downside. So this is still, this could still fit into the bullish count here, but this would be a very big wave 2 if this is a wave 1 and then a 2. So it's not really my favorite interpretation of this. If we start to lose 27,200, I would probably say we have other structure developing here. So we're going to go over that. But basically, as long as we hold this 27,529 range, we can look for that potential to push to the upside. Invalidation of this as another 1 and a 2 would come at this 27,200. So you're gonna have to keep an eye on this structure playing out here. So if we do lose that zone, potentially we could look to still find support here towards this 27,000 range, and this whole move could just be a bigger, like I said, W, X, and then we get a Y wave here. So if this is the case, what we would be looking for is potentially, let me just measure this out here, potentially a move down towards this zone here of this 1-to-1, which would be this 27,170. So this would tie in quite nicely with the idea of coming back into this trend line, as well as looking for that 0.786. If we do hold this point, what I'll be looking out for then is the potential to start to form 5-wave structure to the upside here. We could look at this in 2 ways. This whole move here could be A, this could all then become B, and then we get a C wave, or alternatively, this could be another 1-2 here, but it would need to prove itself because basically all we're getting is a very choppy sideways action going on here. So we need to just be careful. There are some bearish scenarios here, so we'll go over those as well. So if we do actually just continue to remain to move sideways here, and we fail to develop this impulsive structure that we're looking for, and current confirmation would come by moving up above 31,780. Basically, what we would be looking for then is either something like this, where we have a bigger flat correction, um, and this B wave is potentially still in play here, where this becomes A, this becomes B, and then we get that C wave to the upside. If that's the case, basically that support zone will be the same as what we said in the previous area. This 27,060 would be a typical B wave low point, the 786, but really anywhere in between this zone here. If it is becoming a ABC to the upside like this, looking for this target range towards this 29,000, 30,000 range, what we could then have is this is an A, this is a B, and then we see a deeper retracement for that C wave. So we'll have to obviously just be a little bit patient here. If we do hold above this low, we can look to continue to progress. But if we fail to do so, basically I'd be looking for that potential that this could actually be either within this B wave as we have it marked out here, or we could be looking for something more like this bigger W, X, and a Y here. So we talked about this in the previous video, looking at the potential that this could be a W wave, an X, and then actually we're forming this Y wave, and this Y wave is still in play. So the way that I'm looking at this is potentially we either look at this as a flat here, which we could say W, X, and Y, or alternatively just look at the structure slightly different. And there is quite a bit of overlap, so you could potentially argue you have W, X, and then Y in this move. So if that's the case, same things, we're looking for a rejection between this 28,544 to this 28,241. We have met the minimum requirement already, so technically speaking, this could be a completed corrective structure here, and then we could actually look for, continuation to the downside. It is possible, looking at this structure, that we could be forming some kind of a triangle in this area, where basically we form something like this. Let me just throw this in here. Something like this. Basically looking at this structure here as A, B, C, D, and E, and then we look to break down from there. So if we remain below these points, this 28,153 and this 28,182, and we remain above this 27,769, we can look for the potential that we could see some choppy sideways action playing out here, where we see something like this as an A, this is, sorry, as a D wave, this is an E wave, and then we look to push down in this manner. So if we do see this, basically what we'd be looking for, once again, would be those targets of that 1-to-1 lower down here. So within this move, basically, we just need to see how this plays out here, because the structure up is not great at the moment. It's looking very corrective. It's leading me to believe that we are going to see, some continuation to the downside, and that could look to take us, to these lower ranges here. So the 1-to-1 of this Y wave would be down here towards this 26,000, this 26,900 and 918, and potentially if we measure this internal, that could actually bring us towards that zone as well, especially if we got rejected from our current location. Basically what we'd be looking for then is that potential to come down towards that 27K region. So that ties in with that support zone, and if this is a bigger flat correction, maybe we're forming here this A, B, C, then this would be A. This whole move here would be B and then C. Or alternatively, we could just have this as a 1 and a 2. But I don't really like the time that it's taken to develop this. So if we do move down here, I would rather say that we have this complex correction playing out here. Or alternatively, we're still setting up for a bigger flat correction. And, that this could actually just become a 1 and a 2. And then we could look to push to the upside. The problem we have within the structure here is nothing before this point, nothing within the move is this sort of size. So it starts to become less likely that we're matching up with things within there. So what we could then have is the potential that, like I said before, we could potentially count this as a 1 into this high here, and then, if we're forming a bigger sideways WXY move like this could actually facilitate a higher level wave 2 here. But ideally, I would like to see this come back down a little bit more than it has, because, if we're arguing that we have a 5-way move into here, I'm just going to turn this onto regular. We've not even come down to this 236. Ideally, I'd like to see a move down to at least sort of this 382 region to this 50%, depending on what kind of structure we get here. Basically, a flat correction, I'd be looking for that 382 to that 50%. If it's a WX and a Y, typically speaking, these still do come down lower towards this 382. So this is going to be a zone that we need to just keep an eye on, see if we start to develop, some more moves to the downside here in this way, looking for these lower target areas that we have here. So that's what we're keeping an eye out on the on the bigger picture here. We need to just be aware there are many different ways of counting this. These are just the most likely, in my opinion, but we need to just be cautious at the moment because it is very choppy, very sideways, and we also haven't invalidated even the more bearish idea of seeing a bigger five-way move to the downside. So this is something we need to keep an eye on here. If we do actually get a bigger break to the downside, what we could see is something like this play out, where we have this as a 1, 2, get a bigger third wave down towards this 26,569, and then look for an additional fifth wave to the downside here. So keep an eye on this as well. For as long as we fail to break back above this 28,775, we could potentially see some five-wave structure develop here. So even if this does push up a little bit more or we complete here, what we'll be keeping an eye on is if we see five-wave move to the downside. If this comes towards this 1-to-1, which would be a retest of this low, finds support and then moves back away, coming back above this above this above this high here, this 28,156, potentially then this could just be ABC, and then it's fine, that's completed. Alternatively, if this does extend to the downside here, and rather we get this whole move play out, as a bigger five-wave structure that comes down into this zone of this 26,569, what I'd be looking out for then would be the potential of having another fourth wave and then another fifth wave to the downside, something like this, potentially bring us into this 26 or to this 2618 area, and that would facilitate, that idea of a bigger flat correction here. The thing is, what we have to say then is, if we do break down in a five-wave move here, we'd have to be careful that we don't have a sneaky 1-2 in here, where this is just a bigger flat correction within the structure here, and then basically we have this 1-2. This all becomes a wave 3. We get a fourth and a fifth, and then basically we would have A, B, and then a bigger C wave. So this is what I'm keeping an eye on here. If we start to break down, we're going to have to see whether, we get this five-wave move. If we do break down in a five-wave move, I will also be watching to see whether we need to include this area here. If we do get an additional fourth and fifth to the downside, what we'll have to do is watch that retrace. If we get that five-wave move down here, we only get a three-wave move back to the upside, then I would be looking for that possibility that we could actually look to be coming back down to these lower support zones that we have talked about previously, this 24,672 to this 21,204 area. So keep an eye on this. It's really hard to tell at the moment because of how choppy it is here. It could be in a B wave looking for that flat, or we could actually be starting to build structure to the downside here. It is also possible we're starting to build that internal structure to the upside here. It just hasn't formed completely yet. But the key thing here will be to get back above this 28,775 primarily, and then sort of take out these highs here towards this 29,193. And then from there, we need to just monitor to see whether we get a rejection higher up here towards this 1-to-1 of this 29,946. If we do get a rejection here and we start to break down in a bigger five-wave move, then basically I'll be looking for that potential, of coming back down towards these zones. So this 26.7 to this 26.131 area. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, there are affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.